Okay, hello, welcome back to another episode. So, going to work on the bellows today. And so these bellows are in need of some love, which is nice, because it's nice to get things better. The first thing I'm going to do with these bellows, before I do anything, because they're quite dusty and mucky, is I'm just going to give them a good old clean. So I'm first of all going to get rid of any dust. Just got like a old makeup brush here, so I'm just going to just get some dust out from everywhere. And the second thing I'm going to do is going to get wet wipe, or a few wet wipes. I'm just going to go around and clean these as much as I can before I do anything else, because I don't want to start sticking stuff onto dusty bellows, and I want to get it as clean as I can. And also got little strands of fabric and things just poking out, so I'm just going to cut off any little strands, tidy it up, clean it up, and then I can start on the actual mechanics, or the kind of then I can start on fixing the bellows. I don't know what I'm saying today, I'm getting all muddled up. So first thing I do is give it a good old clean up, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so that's good. They already look quite a lot better, simply just putting a bit of elbow grease in to clean them. So now I'm going to tackle the biggest thing first, which is what I like to do. And if I can show you this, I'll just zoom in a little bit, and hopefully I can just make this a little bit bigger. Let's see if we can get this. Okay, that's pretty good. So the bottom bit, bottom fold if you like, the bit attached to the frame, is missing the bellows tape, and it's missing the bellows corners all the way around. So I don't know what happened there, someone's taken it all off. So what I've got is, I'll just bring it back out again. Bring it up to there again. So what I've got, there we go. I've ordered some new bellows corners. So they should look nice. And I've got some new bellows tape of the same shade. So that should look nice as well. So that's going to make a massive difference. So first of all, the bellows corners, what I'm going to do, put the bellows corners in first, because then I can put the tape to cover the kind of ends of the corners, if you like. So I've got to get them in first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the corners into place, and I should be able to just get them into that bit there. I'll just bring this down a bit. So I should be able to get them in, but to give them a little bit of extra security, I'm going to put some super glue inside each one, just to help it on its way. So let's just bring this around like that. There we are. And let me show you what I'm up to here. So get the bellows corner. Just going to put some super glue on the inside of the corner, like so. Make sure you don't get it on your fingers, and then I'm going to offer it up and just encourage it into its place without doing too much moving around of the actual corner itself of the fold. And once I've got that in place, like so, just going to push it into its position like that. Where are we? Sorry. So that's now in place. So that will now look quite a lot neater. Now that's all in. So I'm going to go around first of all now and just put all the bellows corners in before I do anything else. So I won't film this bit, but okay, so there we go. So I've got all the four corners are now in place. Now the next thing is to replace this bellows tape along here, and so what I need to do is accurately measure how long. So what I'm going to have to take a reference from some bellows tape that's already on there and get my longer ruler. I don't think that's quite, oh yes, that's all we need. Just let's make an accurate measurement of how much tape I need. So let's go there. So I need exactly 295 millimeters. Right, let's do this. So let's get my bellows tape. This is a nice bellows tape, actually, quite like this. It's got a slight pattern, but the colour is a really good match, so I can put up with that pattern. So 295. This is where you need to be pretty careful because you've got to get it spot on, and I'm going to just make sure I get a nice straight cut at the beginning, otherwise it will look a bit weird. So 295, so I'm going to turn it over into a pencil, and let's see if I can get this really nice and accurate. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, cut that square. Like so. So that should be 295, and the next thing is to offer it up and see whether it is actually the right length, or whether I've made some cock up. And that looks perfect. Right, now then, normally on the bellows folds, you just have one piece of bellows tape and you fold it in half and it fits across the fold. But this last bit here, you can only go over half because half of the fold is glued onto the frame. So you only need to cut, you need half the width. So what I'm going to do now is carefully cut this in half, which is tricky, but what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do this bit by eye, line it all up, and if it's a little bit more than half, that's okay. So I think, no, I'll do it properly. Let's get it in half. Let's have a look. So that's 2 centimeters. I'll try to do it properly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this bellows tape in half. So, line it all up. Like so, get myself a nice sharp blade. Hold that. Hold this down firm. And there we go. Right, so now I've got actually 2 bits of bellows tape, which is good because I can then use these 2 for each side. Right, next step is to get some glue. So for this I'm going to use my favourite Eileen's Turbo Tacky glue. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to get a little pot just to put the glue on, and I'm just going to use my fingers to spread it onto the rough side of the bellows tape. So the side that's going to be stuck onto the cardboard fold. So I just got to open this one up. Brand new bottle. And let's get some glue onto this Bellows tape. So I'm just going to put a little bit.
No. Nah, just you're coming nosy tomorrow, aren't you?
So there we are. Just going to get a nice coating of glue. Cheers, Thomas. Have a good time. 9:30. Yep. Bye bye. There we go. So make sure I've covered all of the Bellows tape with some of this lovely oily turbo tacky glue or whatever it's called. Now this is where it's a bit tricky. So I'm going to have to change the camera angle a little bit so I can just bring it down. So I can perhaps show you it's a little bit better. Ooh, excuse me. Right. Right, here we go. So what I need to do is offer up the Bellows tape and centralise it across the Bellows. So you just got to do this just by moving it a bit at a time until you've got it exactly where you want it. And I've actually just discovered something as I've offered it up. It's about a few mil, just a few mil too long. I don't know how that happened because I did check it. So before I stick it down, I'm just going to snip off a tiny bit. And then once you're happy that you've lined everything up, I think maybe it's stretched a little. Once you've got it lined up, you've got to just leave enough overlapping to be able to tuck it into the join between the Bellows and the Bellows frame. So you need to just have a bit to tuck in, and then it's a question of just leaving a bit of an overhang on that tape. Sorry, a bit of overhang, and then what you can do then is just tuck and push that overhang into that little gap between the Bellows and the frame. Now what I use for this is a small flat blade, and I can then just get that right into that gap. Like so. So you just got to feed it into the gap, and then the glue can do its job. This is quite a long process. You have to be very careful, but it's important to get the tape into that little gap so that it's got something to grip into. The Bellows tape won't come out, and also you have to be fairly quick because the glue will be starting to go dry. So I'm just going to work my way along. This is not a quick job. But a little flat blade like this, it makes it really quite easy to tuck it in. Getting there, nearly finished. Okay, a bit of excess glue there. But now what I've got here, just going to get that, is the bottom layer has now got the bellows tape and the corner in position. So that is going to be a much tidier job now. So what I'm going to do is go around and do the same thing to the all around the sides and the other bit here. Exactly measure the length, check it, glue, hold it down, stick it down and poke it into the gap with a little flat blade. So I'll show you when I've got all these bits of bellows tape. Okay, so I've now done the first bit of the task, which was to get the bellows tape on this final fold in place with the bellows corners that were all missing. So that's looking nice. Now the next step is to just put some little patches. So there's a couple of folds where the bellows tape has worn away from the corner, so I'm just going to put a patch just to cover up and make sure those corners are completely covered with bellows tape. So I'm just going to cut some little kind of rectangles from the roll of bellows tape, and then I'm going to get some glue and clamp them on. So what I need to do is work out how big these need to be. So let's go around. I'll just bring it down a bit so I can see. There we go, that's a bit better. So I need to work out how big to make these. So I'm going to offer it up, get a pencil and just make a little mark. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. They go right over, so I think they're going to be that big. So I'm just going to cut out, I need 1, 2, 3 for that side, so I'm going to cut 3 of these exactly the same size. So I'm just going to cut these up, 1, and then I'm just going to offer it up. Two. 3. Right, now the next step, this is quite, I like doing this, it's quite a nice little process, is I'm going to obviously get my glue, and first of all I'm going to fold the bellows tape in half. So I'm going to give it a nice little crease, because that will just help me to fix it in place in the middle. Give it a nice little crease, let's get some glue. Put some on the inside of Oopsie, might have got a little bit much glue on. Did too much glue there, didn't we? Put that on there, make sure it's completely covered. And then next step is to offer it up, making sure that it's lining up with the edge of the bellows tape on the adjacent folds so that it actually keeps the same line. Make sure it's nice and central, so you've got it in the middle of the bellows tape that you put on is folded and in the middle. So once you're happy, with everything, good, then just get your clamp. Just get a nice little clamp. In fact, I might use two because I want it to be a nice tight fit. So I've got two clamps on there. There we go. So that's the first one clamped on, and so I'm just going to work my way down those three and patch up those corners. So let me just crack on with that and I'll show you when they're all done. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day for the bellows now. I think they look a lot better. They're all tidy, all the corners protected. Everything's nice. I'm pleased with the bellows patching because it's kind of a really good colour match, and I think that's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm really pleased. I think it looks a lot better. So there we are. That's my little work on the bellows. And so these are now ready to be reinstalled. But what, obviously, before I do that, I'll replace the bellows gasket all the way around. It looks like 5mm. So I'll replace all of that before I do anything else. So that's nice. So hang on a minute. There we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all back together, put all the reeds back in. Or I'll do the bellows gasket before I do that. Do the bellows gasket, put the reeds back in, and then see what it sounds like, and then go from there. So obviously there could be quite a bit of some tuning needs to be done, and also just check the compression, but certainly making good strides. There we are. So I hope you enjoyed that little one, and next one I'll get it all back together. Alright, thank you.